So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I would consider to be the strengths and weaknesses of Dynamics 365 for sales. So let's focus on strengths first. So probably the big one for me is the depth of functionality, but alongside it, the flexibility to be adapted to a wide range of needs. Now, flexibility, I don't mean that in the context if in order to make it do anything, you've got to do loads of coding in the background. I talk about flexibility that is no code or low code. It's delivered through configuration tools, which means you can adapt the system very quickly and readily to a wide range of different needs. Now, that's something that Dynamics has, and that's, I think, its core power. I think it's probably the most flexible CRM package that I've certainly worked with over the years. And it's important for a number of reasons. Firstly, it allows you to accommodate a diverse range of business and operational processes, so that organizations have got perhaps unconventional business processes can adopt the technology. And Microsoft's done very, very well in areas like charities and not-for-profits and membership organizations and government organizations, areas where there isn't particularly a commercial application or traditional commercial application of the technology, but it's a tool set that can be rapidly adapted to a wide range of needs. The second reason it's important is it avoids what you might call technology dead ends, and that's where you're sort of working with a system to try and embed a core process, and you suddenly realize it just technically doesn't do it. And you don't really have that with Dynamics. There's always a way of getting to where you want to get to, and that's really important. I think the sort of third element of it is that because it is so flexible, you can actually, as an organization, you can probably bring in, or probably, no problem about it, you can bring in a very diverse range of business processes, and many of them perhaps sort of outside the standard things that CRM systems are known for. And that means that you can sort of have many more of your processes within the same platform with all the benefits that provides. But it also means you can sort of get rid of sort of data silos and some of your existing applications and spreadsheets and databases, and they can all be incorporated effectively in a single platform. So that's why I think that functional flexibility is so important. The next strength of Dynamics, I think, is pricing. I think it's well priced, it's well positioned. It's not a product that is out of line with other products out there. I think there are a lot less functional products at a similar price point or even higher than Dynamics. You've got a range of options with the core product in terms of the sort of professional edition, which gives you a lot of capabilities. That's their sort of entry level. That gives you a lot of capability at a relatively modest price point. Obviously, you've got the enterprise and sort of premium versions thereafter. You've also got that sort of light team member license as well, which is very cost effective, which does allow you to extend usage to sort of perhaps non-core users of the system quite cost effectively. And they're very good in terms of the discount structure they offer for people like charities and not-for-profits. So I think from a pricing standpoint, it's quite an affordable system. I think the third key strength is the partner network. So there is a big partner network to help you implement and support the Dynamics 365 system. And that's important because it allows you the option to choose who you want to work with and choose the best company, somebody that's compatible with what you're trying to achieve in your budget. But it also means you're not locked into a single supplier if things don't pan out, and they often don't pan out with business partners. That's just the way of the world. If you need to move on to somebody else, there's plenty more options out there. I think that the fourth area I'll sort of highlight is that compatibility of the Microsoft technology stack. So it's not just Dynamics 365 for sales. You've got the other Dynamics products. So you've got, the ERP finance type systems, the service systems, the marketing systems. You've got those, but you've also got the sort of productivity stack. So Outlook, Teams, I'm just looking across my notes so I don't miss anything, SharePoint, OneDrive, Excel, Word, Power BI, Power Automate, Copilot, Azure Cloud, and even, integration into LinkedIn through things like Sales Navigator. So it's not just the Dynamics 365 for sales system that you're using. You've got this whole sort of ecosystem of integrated options available to you as well. So I think the fifth area I'd really highlight as a strength is it's just its sort of inbuilt analytics capabilities. Obviously got inbuilt reporting, you've obviously got the ability to look at data through Power BI, but even sort of the basics things like its sort of advanced find or its advanced filters just enables you to sort of dive into sort of really complex data in your system and sort of pretty much get out whatever you want and surface that data. It's incredibly powerful what's available out of the box. Again, probably more powerful than any other CRM system that I've seen in that respect. The final thing I just flag, I guess, on strengths is the interface. I think it's a nice interface these days. I don't think it's always been. I think Microsoft have had some pretty funky UIs over the years, but I think now what they've settled into is something that is intuitive, and I think something that people can rapidly get to grips with. So let's talk about some of the weaknesses. I mean, I've touched on the strength of being sort of welded into, you know, a part of an ecosystem of Microsoft products, but Microsoft doesn't kind of look much beyond its own ecosystem. So if you're a fan of Google Apps, then there is very limited integrations to Google Apps. You know, Microsoft recognizes Microsoft, but it doesn't try and play with other environments. So if that's what you're into, you may well be, you know, best to look at other options like Salesforce, for example. The next thing I'd say is a weakness is traditionally software as a service is kind of meant to be one of those things you could serve yourself, you could sign up to it and deploy the product. And that was what Microsoft originally did. There was one license type and you signed up on the website, you could use it. But over the years, I think they've changed their strategy. I think they're very keen for you to go through their partner network rather than you try and self-provision and build your system. And their licensing, maybe as a consequence, but for whatever reason, has got considerably more complex. You've got various different options in terms of the version of the software you can buy and how it's licensed. It's quite complex. There's quite a big licensing guide. It's not always crystal clear, to me at least, exactly what works with what. So I think that's added a great deal of complexity, and it's just become something that there are easier applications to sign up to and use than Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales, in my opinion. I think the next thing I'll just highlight is that though there is a reasonable ecosystem of integrations to other applications, if most new applications that could have a integration to a CRM system, they're probably going to integrate with Salesforce first. Salesforce, through particularly their App Exchange program, have this huge range of sort of add-ons, third-party products, integrations. Microsoft, I think, is good in that respect, but it's not at the level of Salesforce. And if you're developing a new application, then I think you're going to probably want to integrate with Salesforce first, and then maybe Microsoft later on. You know, there's going to be less integrations to other applications than there might be for, say, Salesforce. I think the final disadvantage of Dynamics is if your needs are really, really basic, I'm always sort of careful around that, because I have had a lot of people say to me, oh, we've got really simple basic needs, you delve into it and anything but if your needs are really simple and basic, or you just want to provide CRM just as a tool for your salespeople to use, probably Dynamics is going to be the overkill. You ended up probably turning off as much functionality as anything else. So in those sort of environments, there are probably simpler, more readily deployable tools that you can get at a much lower price point. So for people with truly very simple basic needs who haven't got a goal of really leveraging the power of CRM, then there may well be better platforms for you. Anyway, hopefully that sort of walks you through what I at least consider to be the strengths and weaknesses of Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales. If you are a Microsoft Dynamics user already and you feel you want to get more out of it and you're looking for some guidance on next steps, then feel free to reach out. I'll put some links in the description below. Always happy to have a chat with people about their particular circumstances. Anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. This is one in quite a range of Dynamics 365 for Sales videos we've done, so feel free to check out the rest of the channel. But thanks very much for your time today. Hopefully see you again soon.